I did my leadership project at Bayside Granite Bay. I developed a leadership team of 8 people who led a larger group of approximately 300 volunteers. We are the Bayside and Thrive box office volunteer team, and we handle all ticket sales, pre-registration, check-in, and ticket solutions for all of the Thrive conferences and Bayside special events. We are the gateway to all of these events. We are often the first people visitors interact with. Their encounter with us can set the tone for their entire experience. Our hardest job is check-in at large events. Our largest event is the Thrive Leadership Conference North, with anywhere between 3,500 and 4,500 people attending. This is a huge amount of people to check in. One of the first problems I ran into was the events team at Bayside has a no-wait policy for all events. That means that they do not want anyone at a Bayside event to have to wait in line. So if they saw lines at check-in, they would come over and comment on it. At first, this really stressed me out, but my leadership supervisor at Bayside, Dan Crystal, set a good example for how to handle this situation. He just invited them to help us out if they were unhappy with how things were going, and then he explained to me that he felt their goal was unrealistic, and he let it go. That is really hard for me to do. I tend to obsess and worry. The codependent in me wants to please everyone, so one of my first lessons was to follow Dan's example, to in turn model to my volunteers what Dan was modeling to me, and to know within myself that we were doing a good job, even if someone else had a different view of things. My next challenge was to recruit people to join the team. We didn't start out with 300 volunteers. I wasn't sure how to go about this, but I thought I would start by having a kiosk in the courtyard after each church service for a weekend. I thought we could ask people to sign up. The trick was to get them to even stop at our kiosk so we could give our sales pitch. We did this by having 2 games, one for kids and one for adults. I bought really colorful games and prizes to catch people's attention. We gave away toys, candy, Starbucks cards, and a ticket to the leadership conference. We were successful. So successful, Dan told me the leadership at Bayside had noticed and was impressed with the number of people we were able to recruit. This was a really good feeling for the leadership team of 8. I could see they really felt good about achieving this. This was challenging the process. We were told that recruiting in the courtyard was dead, but we tried it anyway, and we won. I asked Dan last week where he thinks my greatest growth has been and where it is I need to continue to focus. He said I have made tremendous strides in delegating, but this is also where I need to continue to work. I worked really hard on this because I wanted to give the leadership team ownership of the project, and to do that I needed to let them be owners, let them make decisions, empower them to lead. I felt somewhat at a disadvantage because we didn't work together on a regular basis. I met with Dan weekly and the leadership team of 8 monthly, but we only had events every other month or so, and then they were over a few days. So if we were selling tickets to something or doing pre-registration, we would do this over 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, at all the Bayside services. Well, we didn't all 8 work together. We only had 2 of us at each shift, so we didn't see each other regularly. So getting to know one another and sharpening our skills took time, months. It wasn't until about 6 to 8 months in that I felt we began to cohese, and it was at that time I began to identify specific jobs and guide individuals towards assuming responsibility for them. This was like a magical moment. Almost all the leadership team responded to this well. They have completely embraced leadership positions. Only one continues to hesitate, and I think she just needs more time. As a matter of fact, I feel like I don't do that much anymore because they have taken over so many of the responsibilities. When I asked the 8, who are the leadership team, to join, one of the things I offered them was an opportunity to be a part of creating something. Most of them had expressed to me frustration at volunteering with other teams they felt were not run wisely nor organized well. They had a lot of ideas and had tried to share them and had not been listened to. I have a passion for running things well and good organization, and so do they. It was a passion we shared, and I think one of the core reasons they joined the team was to be in on the ground floor and be able to have a say in how things were run. I had to work really hard to listen to all their ideas and seriously consider them. There were times when I thought, that's a bad idea, but I had to put that feeling aside and really consider it as a workable idea and let the whole team debate each idea. I'm getting better at that. I'm learning to really listen and consider each idea and let the team make decisions as a whole. In the end, I end up doing less work this way because when we go with their ideas, they want to be in charge of it. At one point, I had to say no to Dan. He had asked me to have the team get involved in marketing. It was just before Christmas, and we were stretched because of the Bayside Christmas services. And he asked me if we could drive around to about 20 or 30 churches in the area and deliver marketing packages. I knew immediately that God was telling me no, but I didn't want to tell Dan no. I'm a codependent. It's my job to please people, and I could see right away when I told the team about it that they did not want to do it either. My unease grew, but I made plans to pick the packages up and deliver them. And yeah, I was going to end up delivering them all by myself. I had to talk to Linda and pray so much, and God told me He couldn't use me like He wanted to if I didn't obey, if I didn't learn to set boundaries. So just 12 hours before I was scheduled to pick them up, I said no. It was clumsy and inelegant, but I did it. Dan was upset, but accepted my decision. I put him in a hard spot by waiting to say no. I learned when God tells me no, act now. I couldn't believe the relief I felt afterwards. I learned so much about having some say over my own schedule and accepting that it is okay to take care of myself. It's not selfish. When I told this story to a friend, and then told her how Dan was saying that the leadership at Bayside was noticing us and wanting to use us, but Dan had said he was protecting us and telling them no, she pointed out that maybe I had set an example that he followed, one of setting boundaries. I think it's the height of hilarity that I would be any sort of boundary setting example for anyone. But maybe anything. The team, Dan, the leadership, the group of volunteers, all often say really kind things to me. It makes me uncomfortable. I really don't feel like I've done anything out of the ordinary. It feels funny that they like me so much. I mostly just thank them. There's times when it feels like work. I don't want to have to see to the details, but I do. Then there are other times when it feels easy and so much fun, and I love it. Dan says that I have been successful at encouraging others and that he would like to see me learn to encourage myself now. In March, we were in Palm Springs for the Leadership Conference South, and some of the leadership team wanted me to go hot tubbing after working 12 hours. I did not want to, but I could tell they really did, and my hotel was the only one with a hot tub, so I said yes. I had a great time. I was so happy I did it. It was like being a teenager, and for me, that's not again, it's for the first time. I really learned that you have to sometimes make an effort to have fun. We bonded in ways we never would by just working together. So now I am planning a barbecue, just for fun, for all of us in May. I have learned so much from this project. I have discovered I like being challenged, even though I also hate it. It is uncomfortable, and yet I crave it. I have discovered that even though it's hard, I like working with people and learning to care about them. I want to be task-oriented, but God is pulling my heart towards people. I have learned the beginnings of setting boundaries. I have learned to relax more and accept that not everyone will like me or what I do, and that that is okay. As a codependent and an I on the disc, I want people's approval, but I have learned that God's approval is all I need. He tells me He made me this way for a reason, and it is okay that not everyone likes me or what I do. There are people who do, and those are the ones He made me to reach. I am more at peace with myself. I have gained so much confidence in myself. I am more comfortable with who I am. As graduation approaches, and I embrace new experiences, I feel confident and scared to death. Maybe that's just the way life is here. I guess I wouldn't change it. This has been one of my best experiences, and I am so grateful for all I have learned and the healing from God that I have experienced through this whole process. Thank you.